It's time for another new Kansas City Spotlight. Here's your host, Belinda Post.
For many Kansas City homeowners, selling a house isn't just stressful, it can feel impossible. At Best Offer KC, they don't just buy houses, they remove the hassle of selling your home. And with more than 20 years of experience, their local team is passionate about leaving the hassle behind. Joining us now is Marck Dde Lautour, the owner of Best Offer KC Homebuyer. Marck, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Belinda.
Now, when we take a look at the process, why do some people not sell their house with a realtor?
Yeah, in fact, about 10% of the population choose to sell that way. So it could be a multitude of reasons, but most of the time it's someone that needs a very quick sale or someone that has a home that is physically distressed and they just don't have the money to fix it up. So we step in and just take that hassle off of their plate.
Now, you don't just buy houses, you solve problems. So what does that mean?
Well, it's a good example. A recent case study, if you will, would be Lisa, who had a cancer diagnosis. Insurance was not going to cover those payments. So she looked to the equity in her home to kind of free that up to allow her to not only move on to get the treatment, but also to be able to afford to pay for the treatment. So she called us and we closed very quickly. In about 7 days, she was able to sell the home to us. We're able to step in there, solve the problem, and help her leave that kind of portion of her life behind so that she could then transition on to her next.
Yeah, and I'm sure that made a huge difference in her life. Now, when we take a look at what some other people might be dealing with, what are other challenges and how do you help?
Yeah, a lot of people have a home that is just not been maintained over the years. And when they look at a remodeling company that might charge them hundreds of thousands of dollars to remodel it, let's face it, no one has that kind of money to put back into it. So, you know, that's one of the examples where someone can just say, hey, look, I want to sell my home in as-is condition and get a guaranteed offer, knowing that it's going to close. We give people that surety of knowing their home will sell. When they sign a contract with us, it's a done deal, and we're able to just let them move on, and we'll take the hassle off of their shoulders.
And tell us about somebody who said yes to that, a home buyer you recently helped.
Yeah, look, tears at the closing table. Rick literally was a guy out of Shawnee whose wife had passed away, and he had this burden of the home on his shoulders. It needed repair, but he just didn't want to mess with himself because there's so many emotions tied up with that house. So we're able to buy the home from him, and literally the team was hugging and tears at the closing table, knowing that part of his life was now going to be a closed chapter, and he could kind of move on and move on to what his next was.
Well, that has to be rewarding, helping people like Rick and Lisa. So, Marck, thank you for what you do, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
This Kansas City Spotlight has been paid for by Best Offer KC. For more information, visit bestofferkc.com.